want to thank a few people who really made this event possible. Thank you to Sophie Boucher for running the sound system, Jamie Garber for filming, the Chelmsford Police for helping to make this event a safe one. And additionally, I'd like to thank the organizing team, Maya, Josh, Hannah, Avery, Emily, Sarah, and Lindsay, without whom this event would not have happened. So thank you to all of you. All of us are here today because on Friday, the Supreme Court of the United States decided that abortion is not a guaranteed right, that we no longer have control over our bodies. Because of this decision, people will die. We now have a very important choice ahead of us as a country. We get to choose how to respond to this injustice. There are many in this town that choose to sit and look the other way, or even to celebrate, because in their minds, this is a victory. All of you have chosen not to look the other way because you're here. I want to thank you for making the choice to be here. I think it's also important, however, to provide some perspective going forward. Like it or not, things are only going to keep getting worse. In his concurring opinion on Dobbs v. Jackson, Clarence Thomas has shown that he doesn't just want to stop at abortion rights. No, he wants to keep going. Next on his list, court cases allowing contraceptives and same-sex marriage. Sometimes I ask myself, and I'm sure you have too, why does any of this even matter? Even if we manage to fix one problem, there's always something new, normally caused by our own greed as a species. In this light, the amount of change I can make as one person seems small, insignificant. But in the end, it's not about me. It's also not about you. It's about all of us, together. Because as much as we want to believe it, one person can't change the world alone. We can't keep waiting for somebody to show up and save us. We are the majority. We have the right, but more importantly, the responsibility to make our voices heard. I truly believe that everyone here wants to engage because you chose to show up today to make your voices heard in a way that isn't just shouting into a social media echo chamber. And most of you, I assume, are currently fueled by despair or rage, which is only made worse by the news cycles. Sadness and anger are normal responses to injustice, both the one from last Friday and those yet to come. But on their own, they don't do anything. These emotions limit our capacity to act because it only takes so long before we hit our limit of how much bad news we can take. We get burnt out, we slow down, and we stop engaging. When our social media feeds go back to normal, we stop listening to the marginalized, to those who are still hurting. It happened back in 2020, and I'm sure it's going to happen now. That's how we lose this fight. That's what those who overturned Roe want. Long-term problems require long-term solutions, but many don't stay for long-term action. I want to invite you to use something else to fuel you when the news cycles have changed and pure rage is unsustainable and exhausting. The only way we can truly make changes together, which means the only way we'll make it through this is by having empathy for one another. The justices and politicians and all of those who are anti-Roe don't seem to have empathy for the millions who will needlessly suffer and even die because they didn't have abortion access. We have to be better than that. Look around you right now. I know you all care because you're here. You showed up. As author John Green so eloquently put it, our shared problems are tremendous, but so is our shared capacity for addressing them. You are surrounded right now by people who believe that by tapping into that shared capacity, we can actually make a difference. Imagine what would happen if everyone who posted an infographic in the last few days sending thoughts and prayers felt that way, and what a different world we would live in right now. So get mad, get your hands dirty, go after the people responsible, vote, march, protest. But also, continue to listen. Talk to those who have been organizing for a long, long time, far longer than many of us have been politically active. Have empathy for those who are suffering, who are most impacted by this decision, and use that empathy to fuel you to take action when sadness and anger aren't doing the trick. It may all seem pointless because there will always be suffering, But that doesn't mean all is lost. And if one person's suffering is lessened because we collectively chose to take action, then it will have all been worth it. Thank you all for coming out here today. I want to invite our next speaker, Dylan, to come.
Hello, everyone. I come today in front of you as a gay man who was assigned male at birth, and before I begin, I want us to take a moment of silence for the many, many people who lost their lives before the landmark case that was made January 22nd, 1973. I want us to take a moment of silence for the people who died before then because they do not have equal access or safe access to abortions. So please meet me in a moment of silence for that. Thank you. And I want everyone, if they are comfortable, who has a uterus and who has been directly affected by the overturning of Roe v. Wade to raise your hand. Notice how everyone's different. This affects so many people. Cisgendered women, trans men, anyone assigned female at birth, this is a direct attack. It is a slap in the face, and we should not put up with it. And I know as a community and as a nation we will not. Because for many years, women were suppressed and told to be quiet. We won't be quiet. You have gay men on your side. You have straight men on your side. And I want the people who say, what about the children? We'll adopt your children. Go help the 400,000 children in the foster care system before you get up on women's rights to not have an abortion. You don't care about the baby. You care about the woman. You care about suppressing her and making her less than you. You will not be silenced. That is a promise. Many, many people will tell you to shut up and go back in the corner. But as women and as people who are assigned female at birth, you will fight back. If you can, donate to the wonderful resources we have here today. If you can, reach out to a friend who is suffering right now and help them. If you are an adult and you have an extra bedroom and there is someone who needs to get out of the state and has to do something that I promise you they do not want to do, try and help them. Always remember, this isn't going to end here. If we let ourselves be walked all over, they'll just keep going. As a gay man, I fear that I will lose my right to be married. And I'm sure as many other people are worried that they're going to lose their right to contraceptives, interracial marriage. They will not stop here if we let them keep going. So do what you can if you can. Vote, protest, and march as they said before. We will not back down, and we will not be walked all over again. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. Now I'd like to invite Lorena Betts to come up. She is the founder of the Peacemakers Network and a member of Chelmsford's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. So thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you to all that organized this event for us to be here today together. Thank you all for coming here. I want to invite each one of you to just take a moment and place your hand over your heart. Let's take a few deep breaths together. Breathe in. Breathe out. And let's do this a couple more times. Notice how you're feeling. Right now you may be having emotions like anger, hope, or hopelessness. There's no such a thing as bad or good emotions. They're just what they are, emotions. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now I want to invite you to receive the one emotion, this one thing that conquers all, which is love. Breathe in love for yourself, for your body, for who you are. Breathe out love, love for others, those around you, those that are different from you, those that may have even said hateful things towards you. When I was 15 years old, living in Brazil, I was walking home from school, and a man grabbed me and started dragging me towards the woods. By a miracle, I was able to free myself and run. These past few days and months had me asking myself, what could have happened if I hadn't been able to escape? What if he got what he wanted? And what if I got pregnant? For many people, it is hard to understand when it's said that abortion is a health care and body autonomy issue. They affirm, I would never even consider having an abortion. Such statement lacks empathy and is often said outside of the reality of poverty, sexual abuse, and exploitation. Empathy is a capacity to understand or feel what another person is experiencing from within their frame of reference. That is, the capacity to place oneself in another's position. Empathy is best experienced when we are in community, like this. In my faith, I learned that loving others well means to do life together, inspire one another to live healthy and whole lives. I still don't know what I would have done if the outcome of what happened to me when I was 15 years old had been different. What I do know is that I would have needed a supportive community around me. Today, I want to invite you. 1, invest your energy here today into building purposeful relationships with the people that are around you. Let's practice community on purpose and be strategic for the greater good. Community is what turns moments like this into powerful movements. We belong to each other. That's why we're here. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite Vivian up. She is a candidate for state representative in the 14th Middlesex District.
Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, I know we're sad, but let's give the women some power. Let's give reproductive rights some power. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's make some noise for women's rights. And let's make some noise for reproductive rights. And LGBT rights. And human rights. And healthcare rights. Because these rights are what makes us human, are what keeps us together, are what builds community and sustainability of us as the human race. They bind us, they build our families, and this is why I'm here today. My name is Vivian Burchell, and I'm running for state rep for the 14th Middlesex District, which covers Chelmsford, precinct 7 to 11, and Acton and Concord and Carlisle. But that's not the only reason I'm here. I'm here because I'm a woman. I'm here because I have 3 daughters. And this is personal. I say again, this is personal. When we talk about women's rights and reproductive rights, I want to say that I want to first step back a little bit and just remind myself of the introduction to activism. I was in Uganda. I'm a first-generation immigrant from Uganda. Yeah, that's East Africa. And this is a place where we don't enjoy the many rights and healthcare systems that we here in the United States, are accorded with. So, but while in Uganda, I was introduced to an organization, it's a women's organization called Action for Development. And their sole purpose was to empower women in economically, politically, but also to fight for women's rights, reproductive and other. So this was my foundation to community organizing, to community engagement. And I am so proud to having heard that I didn't realize at the time that I would still need the same energy in the United States. Remember, I was in Uganda. I did not even have a dream of coming to the United States. But life, as it may be through love and through a law that is also under threat, which is the interracial marriage, I came to the United States. So it's not just women's rights that I'm fighting for. I'm fighting for all human rights that enable me to be here today to speak with you. So, the previous speakers have talked about issues that I was going to highlight, but in the interest of not repeating some of the issues that have been spoken, I want to, take us to understanding the immigrant process and how it ties into reproductive health, and why this overturning Roe v. Wade is very incredibly dangerous to the woman immigrant. A lot of the immigration process is dependent on the relationships within the home. If a man says that your immigration status is in danger if you don't get rid of the pregnancy, guess what happens? You're in danger of being deported to a place you no longer call home. So it is beyond what we see within our confines. It is broader, and I get so frustrated when the people in power do not think of the consequences of things like overturning Roe v. Wade to families outside of their stereotypical family. And I'm so glad to be here today because we can have this conversation. We can raise awareness about the scope and danger of overturning Roe v. Wade in communities that have no protection. I am proud to be a resident of Massachusetts because we have the Roe Act. But did you know that didn't come easy? The governor overturned the Roe Act 2 times. And it's because we had a majority of Democrats in our legislative process that it passed. So the fight is not over. And I'm also very proud to see that this activity has been organized by young girls, young people. So thank you so much. This gives us hope for the future because we're in the present, but they represent the future. And the best we can do is to support this future right in front of us. And I just want to ask all of us to really support these young people in education, in their club activities, in protecting the girl child at school, providing very female hygiene products that they need at school, because that is all part of reproductive health. We need to get up, be practical about being a woman, a female, a girl child, and build systems that will encourage our girls to grow up being proud of who they are, and our females be proud of their body and be in control, because as someone said, if you have no control over your body, you have no control over anything. And that is such a scary thought. So I am so proud to be here to say I am right with you in this fight. I am unapologetically pro-choice, and I will work with you every single way, every single day to make Massachusetts not only a safe place for us, but a sanctuary city for those who need us the most. Thank you all for being here.
Connors.
Hi everybody! Hi guys, this was a very last minute decision, so I apologize if I don't know what I'm saying, but I just wanted to get up here because I have not felt this warm and welcomed into a community in a very long time, and to be out there and to be showing our signs and our support for one another in front of millions, not millions, probably like a couple hundred, but I mean, like, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be seen by a lot more people, but all these people driving by, right? You know, some of them giving us the thumbs down. We don't know who. Yeah, that's what yeah. And the people that gave us the thumbs up and the claps, it just like, it uplifts us and it keeps us going. And I think that's beautiful. I would like to quickly say, when I first brought this to my mom and I was like, hey, I want to go to this protest, she was like, you're not 18, you can't vote. And I said, yeah, but if I got pregnant for some reason, if I got raped or something, I would need to get an abortion. And I know that's heavy. I know that's super heavy, but I mean, hey, people say that young people aren't involved, but you know, the opportunities that are taken away from us with abortion being banned is huge. Because, you know, as sad as it is, children are still at risk of really problematic things like rape. And so to not have the access to an abortion safely so that we don't get ourselves hurt is not cool. Really quickly, I want to say, of course, I love all of the people that are not in Generation Z. You guys have paved the way above for us, and we love you so much for that. And I want to give a big shout out to anyone above Gen Z. Thank you for what you've done to give us a place to be. We love you. But if you're, I just want to quickly say, if you're in Gen Z or below, I'm going to need you to raise your hand real quick. You see how that's like a lot of us? And I know that was just brought up before, but there are so many young people here, and we are the future. And that's a really good statement. And so I just want to say, to see people in my classes and to see people in my town out here advocating for something that is so important, that is a human right, it makes me feel awesome. And I just wanted to say thank you. And I have really enjoyed this. Honestly, like, see y'all next Wednesday, like when we're going to be out here again. I'm hoping to see you guys soon. You know, Women Wednesday? I think that'd be kind of fun. I think we should do that. Let's make that a thing. Who's going to start that? Sarah? Okay. But as the final speaker, I hope I can give this some kind of a good conclusion. I appreciate each and every one of you, and whether, just whatever you are wonderful. You've done so much good. You being here has made a great impact on my life, and so many people's lives, and just, you know, keep fighting for what you believe is right. Just because something isn't legal doesn't mean that we don't deserve to have it. And I'm really happy to be here, and I hope you guys have the best rest of your night. Go out there and, you know, advocate for women, advocate for people that were assigned female at birth, advocate for all of us, and we will advocate for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Madison. I like the sound of Women Wednesday. I just wanted to say thank you to all of our speakers for getting up here and for sharing. I want to make you all aware right now that we have some additional resources over there at the tables for anyone who's interested in furthering their involvement for this cause and getting involved beyond just showing up today. There's also a QR code to donate to our fundraiser for the National Network of Abortion Funds. Thanks to all of you so far, we've raised $445. We just increased our goal amount to $1,000, which sounds pretty ambitious, but we would really like to make it happen. The fundraiser will be up till Saturday, but the QR codes are over there and it's also on the Facebook event. Also, thank you to Amanda Peterson for reaching out to us and for volunteering to set up a kids area over there as well for parents who had to bring their children and want to be more politically active. And she's brought some activities as well as some resources on how to talk to your younger children if you have any about this issue. So at this time, we're going to start demonstrating again. We ask, please don't block the street, but we're just going to stand over there like we were doing before along the side of the common. Bring your signs, and thank you all for coming out tonight.